Kerrit podcast. Podcast, good song.
Yeah, this sounds like something carrots could grow to.
Crunch into us.
What's up, Doc? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Fuck them.
Crunch.
There are so many videos out there. There are an obscene amount of videos.
Porn?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It depends on what kind of porn gets you off, winky smiley face.
I wonder if there's like a quarantine category, like quarantines.
Oh, they're definitely. Oh, God. Thanks for putting the S on there. I 100% was like, quarantine. I'm like, yes, quarantine. I'm sure there's plenty of quarantine porn. Oh, quarantine porn.
Yes, quarantines.
Oh no,
geez.
I have to do school online because of the virus. Oh, who will help me?
She pulls the mask down. I can't. I'm only 18.
They just have a hole pre-cut in the mask.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But
there are so many systemic police racism videos.
there are so many videos, so many things to talk about here with this. But it's just crazy to me, like, when these protests first went off, you'd see, like, a couple videos. Like, I guess the first video I saw was Omar Jimenez getting arrested, the reporter for CNN.
I saw that,
That
too.
was the one that I was like, oh, boy, like, this is not good.
Yeah, they're arresting a guy who is he is obvious. I don't know if these cops have never seen the news before or a news
They've
reporter.
seen Fox News.
Yeah, they look the same. I mean, I don't understand how you could mistake for that. That was fucking. They arrested the entire crew.
Yeah, but
That was crazy.
That's the one where, like, I honestly, like, got goosebumps watching it because I was just like, oh, God. Like, all is lost. Call in Robert Redford. We're getting the fuck out of here. But so after that, a bunch more videos started being released. You know, I mean, videos are viral. They are easily releasable. And so I saw a couple, like, on the weekend, and all of a sudden it was like it was just inundating my Reddit feed. And I was like, oh, my God, this is a problem. And it was like, at first, I thought, I don't have enough time to watch all of these videos, and I have not seen all of them. But then I thought, oh, my God, there are so many people out there right now who are watching every single one of these videos because, like, why not? I mean, they're out there, and there's nothing better to do, and you want to kind of get a hold of what's going on. But
I've been sharing and retweeting and posting on Facebook as much as possible because it's fucking nuts. I mean, it's
insane. It's the craziest shit in my adult life, and it feels like that keeps happening every month.
There's one every month. There's one I shared today where there's a guy hitting a person trying to get away from him on a bike at a crosswalk, and then two cops come in, and then they start beating the guy who's on the bike.
That's
like, what
crazy.
the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're just. It makes me wonder, is there any training whatsoever? Is there any training? What do they tell them?
I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, because I'll see videos like, oh my God. I saw one where they had taken a guy and they were up against like those like electrical units in the city that are like as tall as a person?
Yeah.
And they're pretty thick. They had like taken a guy behind there and were like peeking around the corner while beating the absolute shit out of him.
Haven't seen that one. Jesus Christ.
I saw another one where a guy was on the ground and they were like being, forceful with him. And then they forcibly put his hand on a baton that was nearby so that they could continue to beat him. I swear I saw that. It was crazy.
I mean, didn't Rodney King's like not ex-wife, but widow or whatever, or someone said that this is worse than the Rodney King beating. Someone was connected to him and said that, and it's like,
I don't know if it's worse.
I don't know if it's worse, but I think it's definitely
the same thing.
It's definitely
Actually,
comparable.
I mean, they beat the ever-loving shit out of that guy.
I watched a documentary. It's Innocence Files or something like that. It's on Netflix. It's a big multi-part series or whatever, but it was talking about the Los Angeles Vikings, which was like a white supremacist group that was inside of the LA cops at the time.
Oh my goodness.
So they were just beating the fuck out of everybody. and the guy who was like a part of it, had to do like a deposition after because it was some guy that was trying to get out of prison. And then he's like, that's not what we were. We were just some good cops. And it's like your face distorts and you become a retard, to use a bad term. But it is mental stupidity. It's just crazy to think that you're right all the time.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. It's scary. It's weird. It's scary. And then you texted me that Trump had declared martial law, I think were your words.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to just be
not reply
for a while. Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm good on everything. I'm dead inside already. I was already like freaking out because all the shit that's been going on. I mean, oh my God.
It's just depressing.
And then I heard that there's a secret police that's in DC now.
Yeah, it was something about the White House officials asked if they could take over the DC police or something like that. And it's like, so now we have a privatized group of privatized people in a privatized group?
Kind of weird.
It's crazy. It's the only system that's not held to accountability. And we're trying to speak out and stop it, and people are still stifling it because we know the truth. It's crazy.
Dude, it's so fucked up.
It's attacking its own citizens.
Yeah. The only thing that has been sort of silver lining about all of this is that I think the people that matter are seeing what Trump is doing, and I don't think it will eventually everyone says this. I don't think it will eventually escalate into like full on hopelessness quite yet.
It could go of two different ways because
right.
I mean, it's been relatively quiet news-wise today, I think.
Yeah, I've not noticed anything.
And I think that it's either it could go one of two ways. We can have complete police reform, or it's going to get worse.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I can't see the future. Also, everything's opening up now, right? So Michigan's opening up.
Love it.
Dr. Grin's Comedy Club is opening up June 18th.
Great. I'm excited. You can get back to work, right?
I'm not happy about it. It's 50% capacity, so it's 100 people. Wait staff is going to be having masks and gloves, and we're going to have different microphones to swap out every time. We're going to have sanitize them and the mic stand. But my question, how about the crowd? They're all facing towards you and laughing, so that's going to project. I mean, what are we doing?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm not sure who wants to go to a comedy club to laugh right now, but maybe that's just me. You can't crack jokes right now.
No.
Also, there's a curfew.
Yeah, man.
Not anymore.
I mean, I don't think there was one yesterday. I don't know if it's going to keep happening, but man.
We had one. Can you hear it?
I did. I heard it.
Can you hear it? You heard them? I love those guys. They're so cool. I've always wanted to do that. I think it's so cool because honestly, my thought is every time you rev it, like you kind of get a little stiffy. You know what I mean? And you're kind of like, ooh, like, hello. Like, you remember when you were in like 6th grade and you'd wake up with a boner all the time and you'd like look at like a poster of a lady and you'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, good morning. That's how I feel when motorcyclists go by. I'm just like, ooh, hi. Like,
you know what's
come hello to me.
You know what's funny? I know your childhood bedroom, so you had Nightmare on Elm Street poster right here.
Yeah.
So you'd like wake up with a stiffy and then you'd look, Nancy? And then,
yeah, I'd be like, hi, Nancy. You look pretty cold under those covers there. Oh, that's just a look of fear as death chases you.
Yeah.
I also had a Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster, which I wish I still had. I don't know if I still have it. I think it's gone.
I hope you still have it. That's crazy. Why would you?
I don't save stuff. I'm very bad at saving stuff. I intentionally throw things away because I hate having stuff. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for not throwing our friendship away.
Oh, no problem. See, that's not tangible, so that's easier to carry with me.
That's true.
See, it's something else. It's like all around us. It's like the Force. That's why Luke was good at losing his hand.
Metachlorians.
Yeah. No, God, no.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
No. I hate it. Take it back. Put it back in the fucking grill.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's been crazy. There was a Family Dollar that burned to the ground to about 2 blocks from where I live. Maybe 3 blocks, actually. I mean, the entire main street that's a few blocks from my house is totally boarded up. Got spray paint everywhere.
Yep. That's the road I take to get to your place. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Lake Street. I mean, all those photos you see online, and they are the most dystopic. Is dystopic a word?
I guess
they're the most dystopian looking. Whatever. Yeah. I don't give a fucking shit. No one looks at dictionaries anymore. Dictionaries are a thing of the past.
It doesn't.
Anyway, so yeah, I know all those streets, and it's just fucking. It was nice to see people cleaning up. That was cool.
Yeah, we had that in Grand Rapids too, because we had destruction on, I think it was the Saturday night. But yeah, it was crazy. People burning cop cars from Wyoming. There's Wyoming police that were here in Grand Rapids. If you don't know, Wyoming is just outside of Grand Rapids. But still technically under the umbrella of Grand Rapids. But it's just like, why are they here? And so their cars got burned. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. I mean, all glass shattered. Madcap Coffee, their glass was shattered. But they had a post that said, like, you know, people matter more than our business. We'll rebuild. Black Lives Matter. And you're like, it's the fucking company itself saying it's fine. So just get some shit done. Like, this would stop happening if you fucking made the effort and admitted that you were wrong, and you're like, yes, there is systemic racism. Here are a bunch of proposals.
Why is that so hard? So many people in, like, higher positions are not even admitting that it's a problem. It's like, are you fucking kidding, man?
Because if we see what happens with cancel culture, so they're canceled. If they admit that they're wrong and you know, they're gone, they're out, they're canceled. That's the thing. But it's like, then you should have been a good person. And also, I feel like we should be bigger enough to move on from that point. Like, admit it, do something about it, and then we can move on. But
quick aside about all of this. So, as all of our loyal listeners know, I'm a huge football fan. And obviously been turning to that in these times of stress just to let go and read about transactions or whatever. And do you know who Drew Brees is?
I do. I read the story.
Did you hear about this?
I read the story.
Hilarious. So funny. So funny. I love it.
Fill the people
anyway,
in?
For those who...
Hold on. What's happening?
For those who don't know, Drew Brees is the quarter...
Kev, you're freezing.
What are you talking about?
You're freezing.
No, I'm not.
Well, for me, you are. Hold on. Oh no.
Look at me, fucking with me. Your midichlorian count's all fucked.
No, it's not. Hold on. You're just my own. Oh no, what's happening? God damn it. Hello.
Are you?
Hello.
Yes.
Are you there?
What? Yes. Twat do you want?
Okay. Fill the kids in on Drew Brees. Sorry, that was a big... I don't know what happened.
Thanks for listening to that ad, everybody. And back to the show. So Drew Brees is the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Hall of Famer. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's not right now because he's active. But he basically went on Instagram, I think it was, and he said something like, I will never agree with somebody who disrespects the flag, in reference to the kneeling controversy with Colin Kaepernick. And so everyone, like all of his teammates, like the major stars like Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders and Alvin Kamara, these are all big names in football. They all unfollowed him and were like talking about how fucking stupid that is.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, first of all, because the Saints beat the Lions in the playoffs like 8 years ago, so fuck them. And secondly, because what a fucking idiot. I mean, okay, listen, I don't want to jump too hard on the bandwagon here, but it's so easy to do because he is around black people all the time, right? Yeah. I mean, so you'd think thered be some like levity there in handling this situation, which just makes it funnier to me. And he's literally one of the top like 4 quarterbacks in the league right now. So it's like,
it is unfathomable to me why he would think that's a good idea.
I just don't.
Why in this climate would you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, in this climate as well. I mean, at first I thought people were overreacting when I was reading comments about this. And then I started reading more and more, and I was like, oh, okay, this is the stupidest thing you could have done. I get it now. And then not a day later, there's this other quarterback that was drafted by the Buffalo Bills this year in the 5th round. His name is Jake Fromm. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Fromm. Jake Fromm. And everyone was like, oh, if he gets famous, he can do State Farm commercials because he'd be Jake from State Farm. And I'm like, oh, God, I hope none of that happens.
Wow.
So anyways, people thought there's this idea he could be a good quarterback. No one knows, whatever. It's fine. That isn't the point. The point is that one of his like lady friends tweeted out some screenshots of texts that they had shared with each other.
Oh,
and he explained that only white elite people should have guns. He might have specifically said suppressors, but either way, what kind of language is that?
Wow. It's no longer white supremacy, it's white suppressor.
I love it. Yes, I know, right? That's what these cops are doing, just like suppressing. Like, no.
Wow.
The beating will continue until morale improves.
The beating will be televised.
Yeah, seriously. I know, man. So that's been fun, at least.
I mean, it's just such a weird world. Like, and that's the thing. That I know. Full acknowledgement that we are 2 white guys just talking about this. But
oh yeah, I'm so dumb. I have nothing really to add to this.
I've just been thinking continually about it, and it's such. There's so many narratives that you have to weave through.
Yeah,
and
it's too much.
It is nice to accept it all, and then think of your own,
situation, life.
No, your own beliefs of how you feel about it. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like so many people are just taking it in and regurgitating what other people think. Absolutely. So it is such a multifaceted, nuanced conversation that we need to have, and I don't think that people are doing that. I think that the first step that these pieces of shit have to take is admitting, yes, you're right. That's fucking one. That's one step. And it is so hard to do for so many people.
I think that's interesting you say that, because I mean, I say they're in the wrong, you say they're in the wrong, and yet it's like we're not being accepting or open or whatever. So it gives them ammo to use against the movement, if that makes sense, in my like thoughts process. Because I feel like the first step would be to have some kind of conversation at all, like an actual one where people are actually talking and not getting defensive. And it's really hard to do right now because tensions are so high.
But I mean, obviously you and I agree that they are wrong. But you can have that conversation and not blow up, but they're not going to change their mind. So there's no way to get out of that. The first step would have to be them saying they're wrong, because they are. If you're denying that there is a systemic problem in the police force and genuinely the country, because we are still reeling from effects of slavery,
Totally.
It is so fucking easy to see once you actually analyze it. So the first step is admitting that there's a problem, because that's the same with alcoholism or any addiction, really, is admitting that there's a problem. You can't just hem and haw and be like, I drank 12 Coronas and fucking crashed into a child. Maybe I don't have a problem. You do. Funny. You do have a problem. Mm-hmm. So there is a problem in this country. I think that's step one. Step two is fucking doing something about it. And that one's harder, even though it's not as hard because people aren't fucking admitting that there's a problem. So it seems like that one's the hardest. It's so fascinating to me.
I don't even know where to begin with this. I feel like I see what you mean.
But
I almost wonder if...
How would the conversation go?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a... What's the word? Negotiator? A lawyer? I mean, I'm talking like... Oh, my God. I don't even know how... I don't know. There's fucking 400 million Americans.
Well, I think...
I don't know. Because I guess, like, there needs... I have no idea. I don't even want to speculate.
Well, I think the conversation, we're seeing it in the, news releases and press statements that are coming out, and also... There was some dumb twat. I don't even know who she was. She's some GOP something, but she was
Laura
saying...
Ingraham.
Yeah, no. Is it her? She said that the George Floyd incident was a staged event to... Did you see this?
I didn't see it from that person. I saw it on Facebook from somebody who shared that, and I was like, oh, poor baby, don't do that. Come on, man.
That it was
what are you doing? You're a 30-year-old man.
They say it's a staged event to make Trump look bad. You're like, I mean, the coronavirus... was too, apparently. That's what you guys believe?
Everything's a staged event, apparently.
It's because it's easier to say that a conspiracy theory is active than the truth of the matter, which is there's a fucking problem here.
I guess it's easier. I can't even make up conspiracy theories. I thought I was imaginative, but I'm just not anymore. I mean, how the fuck could you see the video and believe, oh, this is 100% staged? What's up, boys?
Who would agree to die on camera for fucking... It's so dumb.
Oh God, it's crazy. Is that what the theory states, that he did die, but he agreed? Okay.
I don't know. I didn't click on it. It's bullshit. I'm not gonna fill my brain with something that's fucking that dumb. I guess that's what I should be doing. Is that's the conversation? Is listening to all these other viewpoints and then analyzing. But it's like.
It's so hard because they're so obviously stupid. Like, that's such a great example of one where you're like, well, we should just disregard this entirely because there's no reaching this person.
Yep.
It's the same.
I want to die. I fucking hate this world.
Just give it another couple of years. Maybe. I don't know.
Give it 4 more years.
Oh, no. Biden all the way. Let's do it. I'm so ready to vote for him. I'm going to vote for him so hard. I can't wait. Have you seen it? His speeches are okay, at least. At least he's trying.
Yeah,
I appreciate that he's trying.
I've been hearing sound bites of his, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Because all facets of mainstream media have made him sound like an idiot. But he's actually pretty eloquent.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
So... I'm fully on board. I don't care anymore. Let's do this. I hate it. I hate everything.
It's the only option.
We missed out. I don't know if every generation feels like this, but it kind of feels like maybe it does. I feel like every generation is saddled with this thought process where they missed out by like 10 years on something because they know how long things take to develop, be it technology or like societal issues of some kind. And it's like, the generation below us are so diverse and they're so accepting and they have so much access to social media and they know how to use it. I have no idea how to use it. Even though I was there when it started, I like shied away from it. Yeah. And that's fine, but they grew up with it. Like they had like iPads in their cradles,
Yeah.
And so they are fucking going to be able to go out and have like this wonderful web, hopefully, of like beautiful greatness. And I'm just going to be like, oh, shit, I'm 50. Like, I can't. Maybe we're getting the start of something good.
I don't know. I mean, if it weren't for comedy, I don't think I would be into social media as much as I am now. But
It's the worst.
It is the worst, but I'm actually happy with it now because it's showing more people all this shit.
Right.
This is the way to get it done. It's to continually beat you over the fucking head with how fucked
stupid
this entire administration is.
So bad. So bad. The man
Sad. It's sad. Okay, now clearly these protesters out. I'm gonna take a little picture with this book I've never read.
I don't get one thing I don't get about Trump's, like, there are a lot of things I don't get about Trump supporters, but one of the ones I really don't get, and I don't even care to understand, I guess, because fuck them. But how the fuck do you fucking love such a fucking little bitch as Trump is? I don't get it. Like, all these stories that come out are him being a fucking little pussy. Like, I don't get it. Well, I'm going to hide in a bunker. Oh, people are being mad about that. Well, I'm going to lie about the fact of why I was in the bunker. I was inspecting it. And now, if you could clear the protesters away so I can be there for like 3 minutes to take a photo with a Bible, like, anyone should be able to see through how completely fucking fake that is. I don't get it.
But it's the same thing of they don't want to acknowledge anyone else's point of view other than their own, and they love this guy because if they admitted that they were wrong, they would have to take the first step and admit that they're wrong. Admitting you're wrong is so hard to do. You
know what I've noticed about this? I think this ties in a little bit. I've noticed people who are on the right, like who I've seen on the right on social media, who like defend Trump and everything, but also are saying that these cops should like go to jail, who are like kind of trying to straddle the line. Yeah. They also are kind of trying to take away the conversation from race. Mm-hmm. They're trying to be like, oh, well, you know, like that happens to white people too. Like white people get beat up by cops, like stuff like that. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
I've seen that too, and I've worked out my own explanation for that. So they say that more white people, actually, this is true. There are more white people that are killed each year by the police, and more white people that are incarcerated than black people by numbers alone. But if you factor in the fact that there's a more white people population than there are black people, percentage-wise, it's more black people. Percentage-wise. But people don't like to think in percentages because that's harder, I guess.
It's math.
My thing is, if it is more white people that are affected, why the fuck weren't we marching? Well, if it's more, then why the fuck didn't you care? You know why? Because there's no white community. White community is just the community. Black people are redlined over here, so they're in their own community. They are fucked so much harder than the community. Cops are in the community. That's the reason there's a fucking problem. And I'm turning red right now. I'm getting real.
Totally tell.
I'm getting awesome. Real fucking shivery. It. Dude, I fully accept that the next 5 years of stand-up for me is going to be this. Is just me fucking angry on stage. I can't. Nice. I can't hide it anymore. I'm livid all the time now. And that's how I'll diffuse it. I'll make a weird little face, and people will be like, "Oh, I guess that is funny. That's the punchline, huh?"
And then they're gonna go home and never think about it again. Like, "Oh my god, it's real fun. I like him.
I didn't like anything he was saying, but when he made that funny face, I was just like, that's funny."
You really know how to have his hands just high enough above his head to make it funny. Oh god. Yeah.
Anyway, so abortion should be mandatory. Oh my god, I don't agree with what he's saying, but shit, that fucking clapping thing is funny. Fucking cunts.
Jesus, you're working on that like Larry the Cable Guy fucking hick voice thing.
Dude, you just put your teeth out. It's really funny with the beard. I should keep the beard just... If you guys are not watching this, you're missing out.
Oh my god.
Watch my tongue when I do it. I don't agree with businesses getting burned down, but because I like brunch. I went one time with my little sister, and then I fucked her. Fucking cunts. Just fucking... I'm gonna burn down a Confederate monument and then lynch them all with their bandanas. I fucking hate these pieces of shit.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's so crazy. Oh my god, it's so fucked up, man.
It is.
We're just. I can't. Well, there were, you know, at the riots there were white people and black people, so you know.
So I guess black people don't think that there's a problem.
I don't even know what the point is they're trying to make when I hear stuff like that. Like, okay.
Doesn't that mean that people are coming together? I mean, that's the thing of like saying Antifa is behind the whole thing, because that's the narrative.
Oh my God.
That's the narrative that they're trying to do now, is that Antifa is behind the whole thing. So apparently black people don't have a problem? What world do you live in?
I can't believe also, I just have to say, I'm a big, I guess like I'm very interested in like the legal side of things.
Me
like,
too.
Because it's the paperwork that affects real change.
Yes.
So when you hear about not just Trump, but William Barr, who's obviously super corrupt, but when he's like saying, hey, we're going to classify Antifa as a terrorist group, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Obviously it's that he knows, he's smart enough to know it's all bullshit.
Calling Antifa a terrorist organization is like calling atheism a religion.
Yes.
It's fucking pointless.
It doesn't,
it's not true.
I mean, everyone knows this that knows things. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just so stupid for some of those people out there who are like, well, I think a lot of it was Antifa. It's like, what the fuck does that mean to you?
I heard it was a lot of Antifa trying to take down our monuments and burn our flags, and I don't like flag burning. I'm a true patriot.
Dude, I love these photos. I've seen like photos too of like these fat police officers with body armor, and their fat is just spilling out. This is a side note. I don't really know what to say. It's just really funny to me.
It's great. They're so out of shape. Just fucking run a fucking razor blade across that bottom belly.
Dude, I feel God.
I'm getting I don't care.
I'm just
hold on. Run a razor blade across that bottom belly. This guy's real funny.
It's you know, whatever. So yeah, it's been pretty intense over here for a little while, and it's not going to let up anytime soon. And I think we're all very fearful of what the election will bring. Well,
I mean, what do you think about coronavirus? So, do you think the protests are going to cause a big spike?
Yeah, absolutely, I do.
Yeah. I think that opening things up right after this has happened is a very bad idea.
I think everything that has happened in the last 3 years is just awful, honestly. I mean, it's crazy to think about some of Trump's earlier controversies because I forget about them. I mean, he lied about the size of his inauguration crowd.
Yep.
You remember that? That was like the first thing. People were like, hey, this is bullshit. And people were calling him out on it, and I guess I didn't realize at the time. I didn't have the forethought to think clearly or think ahead. I mean, that was just him all the time. That's all he does is that sort of bullshit.
He always lies to rally up his base and piss off liberals, and he's the ultimate troll. And he's the leader of the free world. He's the leader, and the moment, I mean, he's not a fucking leader, but he is.
He's not. He's the fucking commander in chief, though.
He's the quote unquote leader, ntmander in chief, if you will.
Yes, there we go.
That's the title of the episode. I'm gonna type that out.
The lead derp, also kind of good.
I like that.
Not as good because it implies that everything he has done is some kind of Mr. Bean type accident.
Oh, yeah, he's Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, God.
The moment that Adam Schiff in the inauguration said, if he gets away with this, he has all the power to do whatever he wants to do. And the moment he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, the Senate, they're totally fine with everything, and if they're not going to, he's going to be here. And I don't know what's going to happen next. And then fucking the world went crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And we have, dude, it's so interesting though, isn't it? How all of this happened at once. We have a dictator in the office. We have a pandemic. We have total joblessness. I mean, we have police brutality, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. Perfect storm wise, like Christopher McDonald. I love it. Like, we'll call it the perfect storm of bullshit. Like, that's what I'm saying.
It's all coming to a head right now.
And it needed to happen because everyone could feel it building. I mean, even when Trump was first elected, I remember, I mean, he's been so shit for so long, and everyone's like, why don't we fucking do something about this? And then all of these things, these very tangible things, these very diverse things all happened within like 2 or 3 months of each other. And it was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, fuck this.
I mean, can we talk about all lives matter and how it's a dumb phrase?
That's fucking stupid. Every time I see that,
I see it
makes
constantly.
no sense. Listen, people, that's not what the fucking point is. Of course, all lives matter, but that's not the point. You fucking I had this
to say that is just taking power away from what's happening. That's all that it is. You're deflecting.
The metaphor that I heard was, it'd be like if you were at your grandmother's funeral, and then your friend who you invited, who you went to their funeral for their mother like a couple years ago and supported them. Yeah. It'd be like if they stood up and were like, well, my mother died too a few years ago, so I don't know what the big deal is.
There's one about, like, there's a cartoon. There's 2 cartoons that I saw where someone fell down and their leg's broken. They're like, my leg, and 2 people are helping them. And then the next one is someone saying, what about my legs? And he's just standing up.
Like, there's so many examples on how stupid that is.
There's that one, and then also the someone's house is burning down, and the firefighters are putting water on it, and then someone else is like, what about my house?
Right.
It's not burning.
Right.
It's the same. It's such a perfect metaphor for exactly what that phrase is.
It's crazy. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate seeing, it's so weird too, because I feel like I see people who are well-intentioned say that, and I'm just like, how are you not seeing this? How are you not seeing this?
Because they're not.
Sad. I don't even know what to say.
It's base level thinking. All of this is, you have to take a step back and analyze everything. You have to, if you read a book and you say, I loved this book, and I say to you, what happened in the book? And you say, I can't remember, then you didn't like the book. You have to read and analyze and think about what happened in the book. You have to take in all the information and be like, oh, well, these 2 teenage kids, they couldn't get together because their families were, it was a tumultuous relationship, and there were other friends that were along the way, and, there's other things going on. And at the end of it, they kill themselves because the only way that they could be together is at the end in the afterlife. Oh, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, I loved it.
I hated that. That was the dumbest play.
I didn't.
Because why would you give up your life at the age of like 14? I get that they didn't have a long life expectancy back then, but it's stupid. It's so stupid.
I know. But the analysis of it is what it's a love story. That's what it is. It's supposed to be.
Can you imagine though also the political ramifications if they had succeeded in their relationship? I mean, don't you think in a couple of years they might have actually brought together the Montagues and the Capulets?
I mean, that's the sad but
we'll never know. That's the tragedy.
Well, hey, hold on. Here's us actually analyzing Romeo and Juliet farther, because that's a wonderful point. Because if they ended up, being together and, bringing their families together, that could
bringing their genitals together and producing an heir. There we go. What that family is really interesting. Walter reading that Romeo and Juliet, they just were fucking.
Man, I love Romeo and Juliet because it's 2 minors fucking.
I love when you said miner. I first thought of like flashlight on the helmet type miner.
God damn it, My Bloody Valentine. What's the name?
Fucking, I don't, Jensen Ackles.
He's in the remake.
He is. So is Kerr Smith. Whoever names their kid Kerr is not okay in my book.
Harry. God damn it.
Tubman.
God damn it, Mildred.
Quarantine is a perfect time for you to write and record that podcast.
Oh, Judy?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Please, God. Please, God.
Hi, this is Judy Chrisman. I have the coronavirus. Could you bring me a number 3 totally tuna?
This just goes into the order. No, we can't do that.
You had just admitted that you have the coronavirus.
Well, you could throw it through my window and I'll throw you down a row of quarters.
No, Judy.
Okay, bye.
I love it. I just love it.
Okay, bye.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, like, everything takes analysis, so we just analyzed it farther than what it could have been. What would have happened in the sequel, Mm-hmm. And it's such a bummer that was the time now. Because it's also an allegory for interracial relationships, where you could have a family who's like, you can only marry a Jewish girl, or you don't bring a black girl home, or, any of these other things. It's the same exact thing that was happening back then with rich families. 2 rich white families, and now we have it racial wise.
Right.
Still. So we just did a little bit of analysis, and I'm sure that was brought up in some college class somewhere, but I never went, and I
did, but I was drunk the whole time.
You were high.
So I don't know.
High too. You were high.
That too. I was sleeping in and wearing jogging pants.
Man, I like jogging pants. I like to wear them, but not jog. I just kind of walk around the house, and then I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground, and I got carpet, and then I touch my own self, and then I get a static infection.
Fucking morons.
Dude, the weird thing, too, is, like, I know this is kind of, like, I don't know how it would be pleasurable to take, like, hallucinogens at a time like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I freely admit I've tried them in the past, and they're fun, and they're interesting, and they make you introspective, and they give you all these positive thoughts generally, or even if they're negative, usually you come out on the other end with at least some kind of epiphany.
Yeah.
And, like, I would be fucking balls out terrified to take them anytime in the next, like, 3 years at this point. Like, I don't even know, because I'll just be like, oh my God, where are the cops? They're going to fucking find me. They're going to beat the fucking shit out of me.
I mean, we're at a point now where you can be walking at 7:01 p.m. and get the fuck kicked out of you by the cops.
Yeah, seriously. What fucking...
It's almost like they made their case worse.
They made it much worse. Are you kidding? Have you seen the videos?
Oh, I have.
There's so many. At one point, there was a fucking video of a fucking... First of all, there are so many videos. I feel like I've highlighted that enough, but there are so fucking many.
There's how we started this.
I know. And there's a cop car, an SUV, that is like near some civilians, and the civilians run away. And so then the cops spray pepper spray out of the window at nothing. They just spray it, like, I don't know, to vent frustration or because they can and they think it's funny. I don't know.
Did they get sprayed?
I mean, I hope so, but
that's what happens.
It's that kind of lack of restraint, that in that sort of mentality of like cowboyism of like, hey, we're riding around like joyriding, spraying shit out the window. Like, what makes them different than fucking like drive-bys? Like, fuck that.
It's almost like they are in Westworld and they're treating people like they're robots.
Dude, seriously, great analogy.
That get fixed after the curfew.
Right. And now these motherfuckers who are from our community, I mean, that's like the point of cops, is that they're from the community, regardless of how they act. That's where they're from.
Oh, it's almost like they're supposed to serve and protect.
these fuckers are we're supposed to go right back into respect. Their point of view is that we're supposed to stop and then immediately be like, oh, sorry, dude, we shouldn't have been protesting. And then for them to be like, yeah, no problem. Now, like, bow down before us.
No, and then people too. And this is another thing that I keep seeing about the cops that are like hugging and kneeling with the protesters and stuff like that. That is, I guess you could say, the conversation that needs to happen. But if they're admitting they're wrong, that's the first step. And I don't think just kneeling with people is going to be doing fucking anything. It's virtue signaling on a level that's gross.
A couple things about that. First of all, I've heard that I think it was in Seattle, cops knelt and then like 20 minutes later tear gassed the shit out of everybody.
Exactly.
Exactly. For the ones that feel more genuine, like the sheriff in Flint, I believe, is like one of the only examples I can think of.
Yeah.
I think that is a positive step forward.
I think it's a positive step, but you're putting a Band-Aid on a broken arm.
That's true, but if everyone kind of took that lead and started kind of marching together, I think it could lead to more cohesive laws or at least something at Congress level that could be discussed. Mm-hmm. But who knows? Maybe they're doing it for their own nefarious purposes. I certainly don't have any faith in anybody in a higher power at the moment. So
yeah, I mean, I just looked up police Flint protest, but it's news from 2 days ago, 4 days ago. I mean, nothing's getting done.
Oh, no, of course not. There's still no clean water in Flint.
Yeah, so, and which is also something that affects black people more, but, So, oh, God, this fucking world. I mean, and I know we just spent an hour talking about all of it, and nothing's going to get accomplished from our conversation, but I think one of the, another first step is educating yourself, and hopefully people listening to this who never would have known can get educated and fucking donate. I've been donating like a motherfucker.
I've been thinking about doing that. I must say I have not yet. I'm very hesitant because the economy is fucking trash right now. And I don't like spending. I mean, I just don't like spending money where I don't need to.
I mean, I've been collecting unemployment. So
I still have, I do still have a job. I'm like, I can't believe it because both me and Heather both still have a job through all of this. And we have not had our hours cut. We've had nothing. So we have remained largely unaffected by like the changing of all of the world around us.
That's all the more reason to donate, man.
I disagree. And the reason I disagree there is because I have a feeling that everything is going to get much, much worse. And I want to have as much of a reserve built up as possible in case things go south.
I thought about that too, but if things do get worse, money will be worthless.
I'd rather have it than not have it. Oh.
I'm not saying I'm giving fucking $1,000. I'm giving 5, 20. I think 20 is the most. 50 it might be the most I gave, but that was to 80 or 40 different organizations that it spreads across all of them. Mm-hmm. So you're donating a little bit to each. That was probably the most. I
think that's great. I certainly commend you for it. I mean, I thought about it, I must say, but I didn't, and I don't have any plans to.
Yeah.
So and that's okay. I mean,
it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So I think that you'll have a chance to do it. It's not like it's going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, also, this is secondary, and I must say this is the closest I've ever actually thought about donating is to just because of things that are happening right now. Mm-hmm. Because in the past, and to an extent now, I have never trusted those kinds of organizations to properly handle those finances. I mean, I feel like most of it goes to – I feel like there's a lot of bullshit that goes on, and not as much goes to where you want it to go as you would think it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. In this case, I don't know these organizations specifically, but I've just heard too many stories about corruption.
Well, there's also the Innocence Project. I mean, if anything, you can donate to that. That's definitely something that you know for a fact gets shit done.
I've never even heard of that until
The
just now.
Innocence Project?
Yes.
Oh, it's I think it was set up in 1992, but it's a group of lawyers across the entire country that try to get people exonerated through multiple reasons. If they had a sham trial, if it was like DNA evidence that came to, the process of late. It's another systemic thing where, poor people and black people are pinned for crimes. There's no evidence against them, and they get locked away for 25 years to life. So the Innocence Project is trying to exonerate people who were wrongly convicted.
Jesus. That's a huge problem, too. There are so many problems.
There are so many problems. And all you have to do is just get educated and try to make a fucking difference. Just try. That's the thing, is like, so many people are not trying. It's just this fucking, you're breaking the windows, boop. I mean, it's baffling to me that people just don't care enough.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that you can do. I mean, this is the thing too. I donated to Bernie's campaign, and that was like gambling because now it's all money that's gone. So
right.
You're betting on the wrong horse. But here's another thing: if you really don't trust where the money's going or what it's going towards, you can claim it on taxes, so you can get that money back.
I have heard about that.
Any donations that you make, you can get the money back because you're donating.
Interesting.
Like if you donate to Goodwill.
Right, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
You can just write that off.
Yeah, donations. You can write it off. So.
And I've been wanting to fuck with my taxes a little bit.
Well, we're going to all have to in 2021.
Dude, I don't even know.
This is crazy.
I know. I heard in Spain, the way, I don't know if this applies to taxes, but in order to make up the lost hours of work, people have to work them by staying like an extra hour a day for the next like year or something like that. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't, why would you do that to somebody? Why would you do that? That's not gonna, it's horrible for morale. You're not going to get anything extra done because, like, statistically, if you stay an hour later, people are just going to be like sitting around essentially. And then, and who cares? Like, it's not like that work. You say make up that work. Like, you're the person in charge. Like, you've seen what needs to be done, what has not been done. You could easily fucking not have that at all, and you'd still exist. Like, what are you talking about?
This isn't summer school where you're making up these people's lives that you're playing with. Which also, the spread of coronavirus across the globe can be attributed to every government.
What do you like?
There's some places where it just didn't spread, and that's because government took action. They had tests,
like New Zealand,
rigorous testing. They had rigorous things set in place before anything. South Korea? I think that's another one.
Yeah. So
rigorous testing, understanding, education, and just general thought. Just action, taking action, and therefore the economies weren't destroyed and people weren't in the terrible situation they're in now. So therefore they're able to get back to life quicker. The problem with this country is that we have 50 different states that are deciding things differently. We're not looking at any of the data as analysis as to, oh, it worked here, it worked there, it didn't work here, it didn't work here. And also no testing. If I go and try and get a test right now, I don't show symptoms, I can't get a test. And 60% of people, I think it is, are asymptomatic. So if you fall in that 40% who do have the symptoms, you can get the test. It's fucking asinine to me.
It's crazy. And some people get charged for it still.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, because I heard that it was free. Huh.
I just heard this on NPR, I think, like last night as I was driving home. Someone said they had to pay $45 for a test.
Not surprised. Is that another thing where you have to write to some... It's like fucking... what is that? Mail-in rebates at Menards where you pay and then you get a rebate. It fucking it's so stupid. This country's shit.
I know.
Donald Trump, cunt-mander in chief. There we go.
Yep. I like it. I don't like it, actually. I fucking hate it.
I love
Send it back. Put it back.
Send it. Oh, dude, I pissed off Colin Van Dam. Did you see that?
Yeah, why was that? I didn't think you said anything too controversial.
It was because of I had a post where I said, "Oh, so in this country you can protest, but not for too long. If you get past a certain point, therefore it's you blah blah blah." It was about the protests and riots on Saturday, but then yeah, it's a big long thing. I won't get too much into it, but it was just a bummer that he called me out. He's like, "You're everyone on here is making me sick to my stomach, especially you, Garrett Elzinga." I'm like, "Oh Jesus, can you explain why?" And then he didn't say anything. So
It's too bad.
it is too bad because it's like I understand that you're fighting for the country, but also you can't say that this country is handling this terribly. It's handling this fucking terribly. Because I know other people who have fought for the country, and they're like, "This is fucked up." And that's another thing. Whereas to like, if one person says something, it doesn't mean that they speak for everybody. You know. So if one black guy's like, "This isn't about Black Lives Matter or George Floyd. This is about Antifa and trying to take over the thing." It's like, okay, well, you're one opinion, so you know I don't hold much stake in it. You're one person telling me what to think. You're doing the exact same thing that Donald Trump is doing. I'm not with it.
What about the reverse side of that, though, where it'd be like me talking to you like, dude, this is bullshit.
What's bullshit?
Well, you know, everything. Everything we're talking about.
I mean, but that's your own opinion. You're not...
Right,
you know
but we share that opinion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I mean is how is my opinion then discounted just like his? Do you see what I mean? Because
it's the other side of the coin. I get it. But
right, and I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's the argument I see the most when I'm talking to like a Trump supporter, and it's like, you know, well, why don't you understand my point of view? Look at this data. And I don't actually look at it because I literally could give two shits because I'm not that kind of person who can listen. I don't give a shit. You're wrong. But like at the same time, I wish I was. That certainly would create for a more well-rounded conversation / supportive argument situation thing going on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like I listen to the other side a lot, but also I'm not going to listen to too much bullshit because if it challenges my idea of common sense, I'm not going to give it much credence. Mm-hmm. So that's the
Clearwater
thing.
Revival.
Yes.
I miss them because I used to love them, and you can't listen to them now because they're so fun. I get that they have the famous anti-Vietnam song, which is not fun because they lived through such shitty times. Mm-hmm. But, you know, listening to it today, you're like, ooh, this is so fun. And now you can't listen to it because Donald Trump exists.
You can still listen to fun things.
How?
You can do it.
Ugh.
Pretend you're in 1960. Pretend you're in 2016 before the election.
But then I wouldn't have been able to see Avengers Infinity War and how everything ended up being resolved in Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So what the fuck do you want me to do here, Gary? You want me to go farther forward, farther back? Where does this end?
If we go to a multiverse, that might help.
Ooh, I have been watching Rick and Morty. I've been catching up on season 3. I never saw season 3.
God,
I
so
finally
far
understand why people love Pickle Rick. That's the funniest fucking
Pickle
thing I've
Rick.
ever seen in my life.
So
it's
funny.
hilarious. He's
Morty.
a pickle. And he dresses
Morty.
up in a rat.
Morty, just turn me a little bit. Morty, I can't see you, Morty.
He uses his tongue to massage the brain of the cockroach.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, just like me. That's my hero. I love Pickle Rick.
Oh.
Just kidding. No, to answer your question, what's the difference between someone spouting... But it's that conspiratorial shit where it's like you're bringing up shit that's not reported on. You're creating something out of it that is not true. You're also downplaying something that is true. Like, to say those things is discrediting systemic racism in the police force. So therefore, based on my opinions and pretty substantial facts, you're wrong. Mm-hmm. Also, that person doesn't speak for everybody. So for someone else to take his opinion and then be like, this is gospel, and throw it at me, it's like, you didn't analyze this. You just heard someone say it and now you think it. Versus if you're actually thinking about things and you're weighing the pros and cons and you're actually, looking at the gray area in something. Like I haven't heard anybody say the opinion, I don't think things should be destroyed. I understand why they are, and I think that a person's life is more valuable than glass. I haven't heard anyone put all three of those things together. It's always people like, I think George Floyd's death was awful. I also think you shouldn't destroy a Starbucks, and my dick is tiny. That's what I'm seeing. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. You're not thinking.
I mean, I am disappointed that the White Castle burned down. That's like a couple blocks from me, because we don't have White Castle in Michigan, and it was always such a treat to be able to go to like Chicago and get it everywhere. And then it was such a wonderful revelation to move here and be like, oh my God, there's one a couple blocks from here, like within walking distance.
Did you ever go there?
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah? Okay.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You're fucking questioning my loyalty to fucking White Castle. They're little tiny burgers. They're so cute. And they belong in my tummy. I just want to wrap them up in a blanket and give them a pillow in my tummy. They're so cute. And they put pickles on them, and I love pickles.
I do too. I made a sandwich today for myself, and I made one for Jackie, and it was... You want to hear what was on it?
Yes.
We'll end with this. I made a very, very amazing sandwich. Toast, peppered bacon, baby spinach, 4 kinds of cheese. I had pepper jack, Romano, Parmesan, and Asiago. Horseradish sauce, sweet Georgia peach barbecue sauce.
That sounds good.
And
what brand is that?
Pickled onions.
Oh.
And bread, hot and spicy bread and butter pickles.
Jesus.
Best sandwich ever. She had one bite of mine, and she's like, "Can you make me one?" And I did. She doesn't even like sandwiches.
Who doesn't like sandwiches?
Yeah, Jackie. She doesn't like sandwiches.
Everyone likes sandwiches.
Well, she doesn't. So there's.
Well,
there's
what
that.
does she eat when she's hungry? Pop-Tarts?
What?
I just don't know what you're supposed to eat.
There's so many other foods than.
There's only sandwiches and Pop-Tarts. I don't know what you guys. What are you talking about?
No,
When I'm hungry.
there's also the place I go for brunch. That's more than Pop-Tarts and sandwiches.
I mean, this is what I do. I wake up. It's breakfast time. What's breakfast? Pop-Tarts. What's lunch?
What's lunch? Sandwiches.
What's dinner? Another sandwich. Done.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's what I had today. It's pretty good. I might make another one.
I had some rice that I cooked last night, knowing I
Oh,
didn't
not
wanna
a
cook
fucking
anything.
sandwich or Pop-Tart, you piece of shit.
Shit! My darkest secrets brought to light. Oh, the humanity.
Now you sound like a cop.
Oh, no, that's not funny. Hey, Blue Lives Matter, Garrett.
Jeez. I'm surprised no one has made Plaid Lives Matter trend yet.
Oh, my God, that's the next one. I like that. That's good. Dude.
Plaid Lives Matter.
I cannot believe these people, man. They're fucking shooting people with rubber bullets. And
Oh, they're blinding people. They're shooting,
pepper
news anchors.
gas bullets or whatever. The news anchors. Did you see the one where he's shooting like pepper bullets at this chick, at this reporter, and like he is standing there like right there, like just taking aim, like specifically at them.
You know how you're supposed to shoot those?
What?
At an angle, at the ground. So that yeah, that's how you're supposed to shoot them. Not direct point-blank range into someone's fucking eye.
But
because
even,
now they're blind.
Even regardless of that, it was like he was picking them out of like a random, like the way the video looks, it's like there's no one else around the reporter. And so he is like, it's so weird to be chosen like that, to be chosen. And then he just like sets up in the stance and aims and fires like repeatedly. Like it's not like it was an accident. He specifically was searching for these people. It's like, holy shit.
I mean, this isn't paintball. This isn't a Sunday activity. These are citizens who are upset with you, and it's so interesting to me that because they are like they're self-run, they're self-governing, governing.
Yeah.
So therefore, they don't have to answer to anybody, and that's one of the problems. We have to address that, and there's no one that's holding them accountable. There are some governors who are like firing them, but we have one governor in Minneapolis, or not a governor. Who is the guy in Minneapolis that's trying to get these 4 cops their jobs back? Who killed George Floyd?
Is it the union, the leader of the union?
Yeah, he's trying to get their fucking jobs back.
He has the white power movement jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck that guy.
Yep. But that's not that. We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about Antifa, and it's fucking. I mean, how you have not considered. That's another thing. Someone else was commenting on my thing. I won't name names, but he was kind of defending, not calling the KKK a terrorist group because they haven't done anything since 1870. He said, and I'm like, wow, you're so out of touch.
The KKK haven't they? Yeah. They're still around though, right?
Oh, I know they are. I fucking know they are. But I was like, whatever. It's a big long thing. You guys can scroll through my Facebook timeline and find the shit. It's still up there.
What did you do?
Nothing. I didn't do anything. I have to pee. I know that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about James Bond next week, everybody. Spoiler alert, Double O Kevin rewatched Tomorrow Never Dies. Awesome movie.
It's pretty good. I mean, there's some problems with it, but it's not the worst.
It's not the worst. First of all, Tomorrow Never Lies makes so much more sense.
I know
You said that like last week. I was like, because I was a kid and I kind of forgot about a lot of it, and I'm just like, oh, tomorrow's a newspaper. Oh, I get it. They never lie, but it's a joke because they lie all the time.
Yeah.
And it's also like, tomorrow. Anyway.
Tomorrow Never Lies. It's way better.
Great song also. But we can talk about that next week. We'll dive back into things, hopefully. We took a break to, oh, God.
Another day.
Also, dude, oh, my God. How fucking bad is Die Another Day in comparison to the first 3 Pierce Brosnan movies? It exists outside the realm of his movie.
That's what I was trying to tell you. It's so bad.
So ridiculous. The first 3 are like movies, and then Die Another Day is like a fucking ridiculous, crazy, like psychedelic dream.
It's an acid trip.
It's so funny because you're watching Tomorrow Never Dies and you're just like, oh, a movie, okay, and then Die Another Day comes out and you're like, oh, CG shit and like bullshit and ridiculous shit and what the fuck is that shit and holy shit is that. Fucking poor Pierce Brosnan, man. He was not built for that kind of fucking movie. He was made for the other movies that they made.
Yeah,
Great movie,
GoldenEye is still the best.
Oh, easily.
All right, bud. Well,
all right.
What you want to promote anything?
Yeah, I'd like to promote just living and I don't even know. Protest. Go protest. Please protest. I don't care about the coronavirus. Protest.
I do, but yeah, that's why I haven't gone out. I've been donating. Yeah, have you went to the protests?
No, Heather won't let me.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one of these days.
Yeah. Well, she has asthma too. I don't know. It's hard to know. I can't tell if I'm like pussying out because like it's still an issue. And if you have asthma, it is much worse.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to make her angry in general because she'd get anxiety about me going and either me getting hurt or her getting infected with that bullshit virus.
Yep. Jackie and I are both anxious about it, so. All right.
Yep. It sucks. Anyway, love you. Bye. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope the world's still around when we talk again.
Me too. It will be.
Okay. Bye.
Vote for Joe. Bye.
Vote for Joe.
Vote for Joe Biden.
No, I'm a vote for Donald Trump.
All right.
Okay.
We'll never do that.
Thank God. Please don't.